Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today is finally the day. It is the finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi, or should I say the season finale, because again, there's been even more rumors of a season 2, so it seems like that's probably almost definitely going to happen, which is really exciting. So I'm very pumped for this episode. It's like an hour and 35 minutes. It's like a movie. I think we're going to see a lot of crazy stuff. I think we're definitely going to see an Obi-Wan Vader, rematch in this episode. And I definitely think we're going to see him fight an Inquisitor, because we haven't seen that yet. So I definitely think that's something we will see today. I do think we're going to see, some scenes on Tatooine. But I'm curious where the Obi-Wan Vader rematch will happen, because I don't expect it to happen there, or else Vader would, look there for him in the future. So that wouldn't make much sense. So I'm curious to see where that is. But I do think he'll fight either Reva there, or, maybe he'll fight another Inquisitor there and then kill them. And then that's how Vader wouldn't know. So who knows? But we'll see. So I'm going to jump into the episode right now, and I will be back with you in just a moment to let you know what I thought. All right, so I just got finished with the episode. I have a few things right off the bat. The first is I was actually pretty disappointed. The runtime had leaked. Like you heard me in the intro, I said it's like an hour and a half. That had leaked maybe 3 or 4 days ago. So I was really excited for that. It was only 52, 53 minutes. So it was not as long as it said it was going to be. So that was a little disappointing, but I think it was the perfect length. This episode had a lot. It had the big battle with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, which took place in the first half it was pretty much the entire first half of the episode. I think that could have gone longer, but I think it was perfect because I've been saying I love these Vader power scenes, and we still got one in that where, Obi-Wan tries to throw a rock, a giant boulder at him, and Vader just stops it and throws it away. But then toward the end of the battle, we get this awesome Obi-Wan power scene where, I've been saying a lot of people have been discussing online or been discussing it with me about, who's the most powerful Jedi, or would Anakin have always, just if he had stayed, with the Jedi, would he have been more powerful? And I always say that I don't think Obi-Wan was more powerful than Anakin or would have ever been more powerful than him, but I think that he has the ability to defeat him every time because he's one of the smartest Jedi, he's got the skills, and he proved that again in this episode. And I think the battle was awesome. And the way that he cuts the mask and you can see part of his face, that was really cool too. I'm going to show that scene as well as the Obi-Wan power scene in a moment as well and discuss those a little more in depth. So in this first scene I'm showing you, you see this is kind of in the middle of the battle between Obi-Wan and Vader. And you can see that Obi-Wan's definitely found his groove now. And you can see that in a moment, Vader stops the lightsaber with the Force, as seen in the sequel trilogy in Rise of Skywalker, with Rey versus Kylo Ren. And then Obi-Wan throws him back and has his own power scene. We've seen a lot of Vader using his powers. Obi-Wan, has his strength back now, and clearly it surprises Vader. And he just hurls all these rocks, which is a really awesome scene. Now, like I said, we've seen a lot of Vader and all his power, so it was awesome to see Obi-Wan. And as he just walks towards him, I thought this scene was really great. And now, a little bit later on in the battle, Obi-Wan definitely is taking control of the fight as he bashes in the chest piece of Vader's suit, which causes him to wheeze a little bit, and then throws a rock at him, which he's used the rocks a lot, which Vader hasn't done, which kind of shows his arrogance, he doesn't need help. He could do it all on his own, whereas Obi-Wan uses his surroundings to his advantage. Hits him in the back one more time, and then in a moment he pushes him back, which he's done several times, showing his power. And then he gets one last really good shot in here right across the mask, which gives us our first look at a younger version of an unmasked Vader. And this is where Obi-Wan, you see in his face, he sees Anakin, because all he's been seeing is this black suit, and he knows Anakin's in it, but now he finally sees Anakin for the first time. And Vader tells him that Anakin is dead. He, Darth Vader, killed Anakin, not Obi-Wan, and that he's not one of Obi-Wan's failures. He's just his own. He's what remains of Anakin now, which is only Darth Vader. And it very saddens Obi-Wan, but he knows it's true. We also get, we're switching from that battle that I just showed you to Reva on Tatooine. And her whole purpose there is she wants revenge against Darth Vader or Anakin by killing his kid, Luke. And she finally has the chance. She knocked him off this ridge. He's unconscious. She can just kill him. And she flashes back, and instead of seeing Luke, she sees her as a kid. And she can't do it. So she just brings Luke back to his aunt and uncle, and she just can't do it. Now, what I think is really cool about this scene is that Obi-Wan says to her at the end, like, you're free now. And there's been some rumors of a Reva show. That's something I would be interested in because it's another Force-sensitive, powerful character, and it kind of veers away from the Skywalkers. Like, I love the Skywalkers, the Skywalker saga. There's so much you can still do with those characters, which is really cool. But I also like these other shows like Mandalorian and even like Boba Fett that, veer off and tell a little bit of a different story. And I know those also have like Ahsoka, so it's kind of like tied in, but still stories about Ahsoka. She's not directly a Skywalker. I think they're pretty cool. But we do get some really awesome moments as well in the battle with Darth Vader, as well as the very end of the episode. So one thing that I thought was awesome was the parallel in this fight to the Revenge of the Sith one. They have their same exact dialogue. So, Anakin, or in this case Vader, Anakin in episode 3, Vader now asks if Obi-Wan is here to kill him, and Obi-Wan says he'll do what he must, and then Vader, or Anakin, I guess it is Vader in episode 3, but he then says, then you will die. So they have the exact same dialogue, and you'll notice right away in the battle that Vader goes from using one hand on lightsaber to two, and that's just because, Obi-Wan has gotten his strength back. And I'm going to show another clip from the battle now so you can kind of see that transition. So this is the very beginning of the battle, and I love that we get Obi-Wan's original prequel stance there with the two fingers. I thought that was awesome. And they of course had the same dialogue they had from Revenge of the Sith just before they fought. This is a great, scene here, the far away look, the overhead look. But you see Vader's using one hand, just like he did the last time they fought earlier in the series. But I think he's a little more surprised at how much strength Obi-Wan has and how more skilled he is. So in a moment, you're going to see that he's going to be switching to two hands. So this whole time he's got one, and now, right after Obi-Wan pushes him to the side, he's using two for the rest of the battle. And so just kind of wrapping up my thoughts on this episode is that I'm a little disappointed that the Grand Inquisitor was so heavily teased in the trailers. I mean, he had a presence in the first couple episodes, but he didn't do much. And then he had a presence at the end of episode 5, and then in this one, but again, he didn't do anything. And when Vader said he was going to go meet Obi-Wan down on the planet alone, I thought, okay, maybe the Grand Inquisitor will follow. And then especially when Vader was being defeated, I thought, he's going to show up now, they're going to fight, it's going to be awesome. So I was a little disappointed about that. And the other two Inquisitors, besides Reva and the Grand Inquisitor, didn't show up either. And I was just a little bit surprised. I definitely thought we'd get Obi-Wan fighting an Inquisitor, but I did see something very specific. There's been a lot of rumors about a season 2. And if you notice when, you see Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's a season finale airing. It does not say series finale. And that's pretty telling because if you look at some of these other limited shows, like WandaVision, for example, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, those ones always said series finale. The ones that say season, like Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, Loki, those all have either been rumored, teased, or confirmed for another season. So I think that's very telling. And they left this open for, a season 2. They left it kind of open. And I'll talk about that in a moment too, while I show another really cool scene. This is the last scene we get in the series, or at least for season 1. It is Obi-Wan as he's leaving after meeting Luke. And then finally we get a little bit of an appearance here, and as it solidifies, we realize it is his former master, Qui-Gon Jinn, which was a really awesome guest appearance by Liam Neeson. It's really cool because in a moment you're going to see the other scene. We saw Obi-Wan's master and Anakin, or Darth Vader's master, both make an appearance here at the end of the show. So that was really cool. And Qui-Gon lets him know he was here the whole time, just Obi-Wan hadn't yet mastered the training to be able to see him. But this really sets it up so a season 2 could really work, because Obi-Wan just goes off into the distance now, and they could do anything from here. There's still about a 10-year gap, between this and A New Hope. So there's a lot they could definitely do there. Okay, so that is pretty much everything that happened in this episode. It was mostly the battle with Darth Vader, which I had a feeling that would be a lot of it, and it was really good. It did not disappoint. I think anyone who disliked this series cannot say anything about episode 5 or 6. I think every episode was great and it told a great story. The whole season was really awesome. But these last 2 episodes, I personally think if you didn't like them, you're just not a Star Wars fan, because they were amazing. I also think they could do a whole show on Roken, and I think that would be awesome. I think that's a way to tell a Star Wars story like Rogue One, where you don't have these Force sensitives. He's this kind of like rebel leader who's helping people escape. I think that would be a really awesome story to tell. But so we had the Vader fight. We had Reva on Tatooine. Obi-Wan does get to meet Luke, which is pretty cool, and he does give him that starship toy. We saw it in A New Hope, so we knew he'd get it somehow, but he does finally get to give that to him. And we get the iconic line when Obi-Wan drops in on Grievous and says, "Hello there." That's how he greets Luke. So that was a really cool kind of like nod to the fans of one of the most iconic lines in Star Wars history. And then as you saw, finally, after 5+ episodes of trying, he's able to make contact with Qui-Gon. And I had a feeling, because I thought that it was weird, Liam Neeson, right before episode 1 came out, he comes out and says, "Oh, I won't be in another Star Wars show, only a movie." And I thought that was a little bit random. So I kind of had a feeling he might pop up here. So that was really cool to see. And then as I just showed you, he sees him. They have a little dialogue. He says he was always there watching. I was wondering if they were going to have some dialogue about, everything. I was wondering if Obi-Wan was going to say, like, "Hey, that kid you said was the chosen one, he's evil." If there's a season 2, if they use the Qui-Gon Force Ghost talking to Obi-Wan, maybe that'll happen. Maybe he'll ask him, like, "Did you see any of this coming?" So that would be pretty interesting. But, and then it just has him walking off, but it does not say what his plan is. All that is left is right before he meets Luke, he tells Owen he'll keep his distance. So, and there's still like 8 years or so, or about, since this is 8 years after Revenge of the Sith, or 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, there's about 8 years or so of emptiness. The only thing I think they can't really do in a future season is too much between Obi-Wan and Vader. I think they have to kind of end that, because we also got one last scene I'm going to show you that, was pretty significant as well here. And like I mentioned before, this is the scene with Anakin, or Vader, and his master, where he tells Sidious that all he wants is to continue hunting Kenobi, and Sidious thinks he might be compromised, so then Vader ends by saying Kenobi means nothing, which to me means maybe Vader wouldn't be in a season 2, but I know both Ewan McGregor, who plays Obi-Wan, and Hayden Christensen, who plays Vader, or Anakin, they both said they're really interested in a season 2 and continuing their character stories. So there's a lot they could do from here. Like I said, there's an 8 to 10 year gap. I would be super excited to see where they go from this moment. And so, like I was saying, based on that scene you just saw, I don't think they can do too much with Vader and Obi-Wan, but I think this really tied up their story really nicely. Obi-Wan says, "My friend is truly dead." Like, he in his mind, Anakin is dead, has been dead. All that's left is Vader. And it seems like, it upsets him, but he's kind of making peace with it. And then Vader goes from saying, "I'll search every system, destroy everything till I find Obi-Wan," and he goes from that to Kenobi means nothing. And that's just, I think, him trying to please Sidious, and I don't think that really means too much, but I think they'll end that. If they do a season 2, I'd love to see something between Obi-Wan and Maul, or, they could just do a whole nother, thing. It doesn't have to be with one of these Sith Lords. It can be, a rogue Jedi who turns evil. It could be anything. They can make any story up. But I think that this season did a really nice job of tying that bow on the Obi-Wan and Vader story. So if you couldn't tell from my reviews, I really liked the show. I thought it was really good. I definitely hope for a season 2. I'm super excited for all the shows coming up. We do have season 3 of Mandalorian. I don't think they have a specific date, but I know they said early 2023. So I am super excited for that. Andor, Ahsoka, they're all going to be so good. So if you liked these reviews, please let me know in the comments and like the video. They definitely didn't get as many views as some of my other videos. So, I'm definitely going to review Mandalorian. I might just do like a quick video reviewing the series of Ahsoka and like Andor when they come out, unless those are also, asked for or, highly popular as they're coming out. But I hope you enjoyed these videos. If you did, please subscribe. That would mean a lot, and stick around for future videos. You can hit the bell to be notified of those. Hit the like button, comment, share, like I said, subscribe, and you will see some more videos coming out soon from the theme parks and other fun things. So we'll see you there.